Hello everyone, this is a 1 week later review of the Google Pixel Watch 2. I received this watch as part of the promotion with the Google Pixel 8 Pro, and I must say I've been pleasantly surprised. I've used this as my only smartwatch for the past week, alongside with using the Google Pixel 8 Pro as my primary device. I took my main SIM card out of my Z Fold 5 and have been using the watch along with the Pixel 8 Pro since then. So I'll kind of get into it here. I didn't do an unboxing video because you've seen plenty of those, and I just, it's just taking it out of the box at the end of the day. But I will say, I really appreciate what this watch has to offer. I'm surprised that I liked it as much as I did, especially given that I really like and prefer big watches. I prefer the square interface, but I think that this works pretty well. Now, is it a $350 watch? I must respectfully say no, it's not in terms of build quality. I kind of feel like it's essentially a step above like a top-notch Fitbit. It's not really, or right alongside a top-notch Fitbit. It's okay, right? It has the sort of sides that are metal. They feel plastic, though, to be honest with you. And then the sensors on the bottom here. You have the nice screen. It is a little small for my taste, so that was the thing I was concerned about. But it didn't bother me as much as I thought it would, and I'll kind of explain why as I go through the whole of the experience. The round design, I think, helps. It kind of drips over the side, so you're able to kind of swipe a lot easier and a lot better, and it makes the watch Wear OS really intuitive. So in a way, it feels bigger than it actually is. Now, does it look big on my wrist? Not necessarily. It looks a little bit like a dot, but that's okay. If you're used to wearing Fitbits, this is actually really good. And they bought Fitbit. And the one thing about Fitbit, I loved Fitbit when I had Fitbits. The problem is that the watches, the hardware was so crappy. I literally would break them and would get replacements. I remember going through a Fitbit Charge HR, back in the day when I had one of those. And I went through three, and Fitbit sent them out, over and over again. And, sure, they honored the warranty, but, I'm pretty hard on my watches. So I was a little concerned with this, but actually it's not so bad. It's better than I thought it would be. And it feels bigger, again, just because of the way that you can interact with it. I just feel like the swipe gestures make it feel that way. In terms of the other thing, in terms of hardware, you have the Google Assistant accessible with the button right here. So anytime you want to access the assistant, how can I help? It is what it is, right? So it's right there. That's pretty good. I think that and then the side buttons also give access to the app. So you just click right here, and then you can get your whatever it is that you need, right, on the side there. So your apps are right there. So just one click. Google Assistant right here. Now, Google Assistant is a game changer in a lot of ways because it's what we use. I don't use Bixby, I don't use Siri, but I'll use Google Assistant on all of my phones, on all of my devices. I wish it was a little more intuitive with the iPhone, but it's not, but that's okay. Wear OS, in my opinion, the software is the best software on any watch. I even prefer it to this, especially after Apple did the latest update to the Apple Watch. I don't find it as intuitive as it was before the update when they changed everything around. This actually feels much easier to use, interestingly enough. So I actually like it. The swipe gestures are simple, right? You swipe down, you get your settings, right? And you can, configure those as you will. You swipe up, you get your notifications, okay? You swipe to your left or to your right, and it shows like whatever it is that you want to do. Right, you can get sleep tracking, quick start on exercise, your heart rate, your steps. I haven't worn it today, and what have you, right? And the app itself is really intuitive. So I just have the basic watch face on here. I just changed the color, but the watch app is great, right? So you can change the watch faces. There's plenty of watch faces to choose from. So we can just add them, and here we go. There's tons of options. If you want something with more of a kind of, watch feel, or you just want to see the time, you have that, at your fingertips. It's really nice. They did a good job. I feel like there's a lot of options here. If you want something more, tactile, you want to like know everything right on the watch face, it's right there for you. But I don't even feel like with my Apple Watch, I kind of feel like I like everything where I can just kind of press the button and press the screen and find out where I'm going. Like, okay, I want to get to this. I want to get to this. With the Wear OS swipe gestures, I don't feel the need to have everything on the screen. I mean, I have this by default because I wanted to use it in its own capacity as, as a watch, but, as a watch as it was intended to be used. But this here, there's a lot of choices. Okay. And here, if you want to do like your index fitness, you got 5 options. So the complications are nice. Like there's a lot of stuff, but you can also dress it up. You can certainly dress this watch up more than you can, I feel, this watch to a certain extent. I perhaps think the Watch 6 Classic is probably the most, like if you go out, it's probably the most dressy. But to be honest with you, if you get a nice band, this is really nice. I mean, it looks really good. It's clean, right? So, I really like it in that sense. But, the watch face, the gallery is great. You have a lot of options here. The other thing is that you also have, let me go back here. I feel like the app is also really intuitive. You have the tiles. So the other, if you want to swipe, you go this way, get the assistant, sleep. You can add different things to it. So you can add other tiles, like your last activity on Fitbit, your body responses, your ECG. If you download the app, you can put Google Maps there. There's a lot of stuff, your favorite contacts, your timer, whatever you want to add on there, you can just add on there. So you can add a timer there, and then the timer will appear on the swipe. There it is, right there on the swipes. So I gotta be really honest. They nailed this. They nailed this software. I mean, it is really great. Battery life, I was really concerned about battery life. I thought, nothing's gonna touch the Ultra, and yeah, the Ultra still kind of beats it. But I got through a day easily, and it has a proprietary charger. So I was, it charges up pretty quick. You just, and I don't have it plugged in, but you just kind of pop it on there and it's good to go. You have to pop it on this way. Just so you put it where the little button is here, and then the rotating little dial, and then you have the cord coming this way. So it doesn't really fit other ways. It's kind of like, it'll let you know, it's like a magnet, but you just put the cord right alongside this portion here and you're good to go. It charges fast enough. It's not, super fast charging, but it's not slow by any stretch. It's fine. The battery life, I was getting 1 day easily with sleep tracking. Charge it up in the morning, I'm good to go again. If I didn't work out, there was a day or 2 days actually where I didn't work out this week, and it lasted me a day and a half. Like on the day I didn't work out, I actually got a little extra battery life on it, and I was able to do sleep tracking. And then I went through my day doing my regular stuff, and then I charged it up again before I worked out in the evening. So it was really good. I have no problem with it. The fitness tracking is really good. I think it's pretty accurate. I always liked Fitbit as an app, and I kind of missed using the Fitbit app, but I just could not deal with the hardware. Now you get good enough hardware and you get Fitbit app. And, to me, I think it's a win. In terms of the vitals and like the tracking and what have you, it's not going to be necessarily a Garmin, or it's not going to be, something, more high end, right? Those of you who are really super into fitness and working out and tracking every little detail of everything, I'm not at that level, right? You're gonna get a watch that does that kind of stuff. Even an Apple Watch might be limited, an Ultra might be limited to a certain extent. But if you really want to get into like the whole science of it, the Quantified Scientist, his channel is amazing. He does such thorough work on how viable these are as fitness trackers, heart rate, sleep tracking, the whole nine. So I definitely, he did the scientific test, best on Android, Google Pixel Watch 2. He basically said this is second only to the Apple Watch in terms of measuring sleep tracking, measuring your vitals, your heart rate. And of all the Android watches, this is the best one. So he gave it a really great review. So go ahead and watch that video. I'll try to link it as well. I mean, I was really impressed. I mean, I trust him because he does really thorough work. I think he's a PhD student, if I'm not mistaken. And he studies this stuff and statistics and what have you. So it's really, really good. Now, what are the downsides? it's overpriced. Don't pay $350 for this watch. Right now, you can probably get a ton of them on the aftermarket, like because people are not keeping the watch, they're just keeping the phone. Run out, get it on OfferUp for $250. I see them as low as $250. And I think that's what the retail price should be. It should be like $249.99. I'd be okay with that. I said it was a $150 watch in my Google Pixel 8 Pro video. I kind of take that back a little bit. I can see it being like $249, $199 on sale. Like the build quality that's where the build quality is at, to be honest with you. So I wouldn't necessarily overpay for it. I would not pay retail for it. Get it on sale. You know, if you get a birthday gift card or something, then by all means, cool. But it's, you know, if you got it with the phone, it was a bargain. Now, in retrospect, I think, you know, they kind of played it as smart. What they did is they sold you the watch at a discount for $100 and they kicked the phone price up $100. And, you know, they essentially, I mean, they took $100 off the watch. So I kind of feel like, you know, that was probably, you know, if they kept that sale, if they kept that as like their baseline, because I don't think this watch is that expensive to produce, to be honest with you. And if they gave this watch away and they charged the $999 for the phone with the watch and they continued to do that, I think the combo would sell like hotcakes, especially once word gets out how good this watch is, because it is really good. So, you know, but that Google, they got to make their money, and you know, it is what it is. It's overpriced at $350. I'm comfortable at $250. It is like a high-end Fitbit. So, you know, in terms of quality, and I haven't had the best luck with Fitbits, but I kind of have a little more faith in this. Then again, you know, I've already dinged up my Ultra, right? So if you see right there, but that's just me. I'm just not, you know, not very good with watches. I beat them up too much. But you know, it's good. I think that the giveaway was a smart move, and I think to get this in people's hands with the giveaway was a good idea, because that's going to set up the Pixel Watch 3 as maybe a standalone device, right? Like where they probably won't throw it in, you know, like the way Samsung did with, you know, they'll throw in something and then they kind of take it away the next year just to get it in people's hands and get them kind of used to using it. You know, so there's that. I prefer this interface, and I know that the Watch 6 Classic has Wear OS, but I feel like with the gestures, the bezel almost kind of gets in the way, even though you can use the bezel itself. This just feels more natural to use, to be really honest with you. The other thing I kind of feel is like, I think the straps could be designed a little better. You have to kind of squeeze it here, right? You squeeze it down and then you kind of like slide it on over. And well, you know, it's kind of hard. I have the biggish hands, so it's a little bit of a pain in the butt to get it on over, just to kind of slide it. And I always feel like I'm going to break it because it does feel a little delicate, you know, to me. So, you know, okay, so you got it off there. So I kind of, you know, this doesn't seem to be, I don't know, it just seems to be a little on the flimsy side. I am concerned. It feels like plastic in there almost. So, you know, and then you kind of just pop it back in, right? You just hold it down and then you slide it in. You got to kind of get it in the right angle and then you slide it in. I won't mess with it anymore because I don't want to waste your time, but I'll get it later. And by the way, just on a side note, I can't wear the Apple silicone because I get like rash. I don't know what special sauce they put in this. I didn't have another watch strap, so I was going to take one for the team and get my rash, but I didn't get rash with this one. So I don't know if it's different or what, but I don't know. It didn't mess my wrist up like the Apple Watch ones do. Not sure why. That's why I wear this band here for the most part. I would like to see a larger version of this. So that it's not a down, you know, this is what it is. They're not saying, hey, we're making 2 watch sizes. They're just saying, hey, this is our watch, you know, take it or leave it, love it or don't, you know, and that's fine. But man, if they made like a 45 or 47, like the Watch 6 Classic size, man, this thing I think would be a beauty. You know, so I would love to see that. I wish I would have got the silver one, but this is what they gave me with the giveaway. So overall, you know, but just to say, like, you know, the size, it didn't bother me as much. So I want to reemphasize that point. I thought the size was going to be more of an issue than it actually turned out to be. So there's that. But overall, like, you know, I think I would get it. If you're looking for an Android watch, I'm back to my Z Fold 5 as my main device. I'm going to probably pair this with the Pixel Watch 2, and I'm probably going to sell my Watch 6 Classic. I'm not 100% sure yet. I want to kind of try them both out back to back, side by side, but I'm kind of leaning in that direction, to be really honest with you. When I wear, I do like the Fitbit tracking. Like it's nice. The Fitbit app is really intuitive, so I really like that as well. And I will say the other thing I thought was kind of I didn't like it. It's kind of a whack move was that you have to pay for Fitbit Premium to kind of access all of the functionality. And that's like $80 a year. So they're giving it to you for free for 6 months, but that should come with the watch. Or it should be like maybe $30, maybe $20. Like to spend $350 and then have to spend another $80, that's crap. No, that's not cool. So that's the other downside thing I would say. But overall, it's my second favorite smartwatch next to the Ultra. And to be honest with you, I feel like it's easier to use than the Ultra. I feel like the new software on the Apple Watches I'm still getting used to, and it just feels like it's kind of clunky, like the Watch 6 Classic is kind of clunky. And I'm a little disappointed. This needs to be a little bit more intuitive. This is extremely intuitive. So I love Wear OS. I think the Ultra 2 just wins on battery life. So, it's a bigger watch. So, of course, it's going to win on battery life. And it's a huge, chunker, thick thing. So, of course. So I can't really fault it. For the size of this, the battery is actually pretty good. It's actually really good. So there's that. The build quality, I don't know what they can do about it with this design because you're going to have glass all around it. And, it's just, you got to maybe put a bigger case on it when you do more active things. If you go hiking and you're climbing up in the rocks and you're like digging into like in between spaces to try to like, hold on, keep your balance. I probably would put a cover or a nice case on this, a big rubber, like Spigen-ish one that even has the screen covered as well, because I don't think this can hang in that kind of environment, whereas this totally can. I mean, I can't even tell you how many times. I mean, I messed up the metal here and the glass is still clean. I don't know how I did it. I thought I was going to scratch the glass for sure. This one, it's not going to be able to hang that way. So, that's the other thing. But overall, I think Google really brought it this year with the watch. I think they brought it with the Pixel 8 Pro. I'm kind of thinking about getting the Pixel 8. I may or may not pick that one up. But my recommendation is go run to the secondary market right now while all of these folks are selling this thing brand new in the box for $200, $250, even $275, and get one. But don't pay $350. Okay? All right, that's all for now. I hope you're well. I hope your family's well. And that was my review of the Pixel Watch 2. Take care of yourself. See you next time.